Two fathers who have never met share an unimaginable bond. Both have lost their families to the brutal actions of two murderous brothers. BBC commentator Jon Hunt recently expressed his devastation after his daughter's ex-boyfriend, Kyle Clifford, mercilessly killed her, her sister, and their mother. As Kyle plotted his attack, he informed his brother, Bradley Clifford, about purchasing a crossbow. This conversation was particularly disturbing as Bradley was serving a life sentence in prison for a previous murder. Now, Soban Khan, the father of Bradley's earlier victim, has spoken out about his anguish and his disdain for the Clifford brothers. Soban Khan's only son, 18-year-old Soban Khan, had a promising future ahead of him when he was tragically murdered by Bradley Clifford. Soban, a diligent student on the verge of beginning his university studies, became a victim of a horrific act of road rage. Bradley, enraged over an alleged bottle thrown at his prized Ford Mustang, aggressively chased down the scooter Soban was riding on, ramming it from behind. The impact sent Soban and his friend flying, and as Soban lay helpless on the ground, Bradley violently assaulted him. Soban's murder was a devastating blow to his family. His father recounted the trauma of losing his only son, sharing that his wife collapsed upon receiving the tragic news. She later left her job and now spends much of her time visiting Soban's grave, consumed by grief. Mr. Khan himself suffered 3 heart attacks due to the overwhelming pain of the loss. The murder of Jon Hunt's family reignited their sorrow, bringing back the horror they had endured years before. Following the sentencing of Kyle Clifford, Jon Hunt delivered a heart-wrenching victim impact statement, condemning the Clifford family for failing to intervene before the tragedy unfolded. He held them accountable for not notifying the authorities, arguing that they knew Kyle possessed dangerous weapons. Mr. Khan echoed these sentiments, emphasizing that the brothers demonstrated violent and criminal tendencies. Soban Khan's murder trial revealed disturbing details about Bradley Clifford's temperament. Evidence showed that he was highly protective of his car, to the extent that he had sent threatening messages to his girlfriend, vowing to retaliate violently if anyone damaged it. This possessiveness over his vehicle ultimately led to his unprovoked attack on Soban. Despite being sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 23 years, Bradley later attempted to appeal for early release. Mr. Khan firmly opposed this, asserting that neither of the Clifford brothers should ever be free due to the danger they posed to society. Kyle Clifford's rampage against the Hunt family was premeditated. He had informed his imprisoned brother about purchasing a crossbow, indicating a shared interest in dangerous weapons. Louise Hunt, Kyle's ex-girlfriend, had taken note of his family's violent history, listing it as one of the reasons she ended their relationship. Investigators discovered a note on her phone in which she outlined her concerns about Kyle's aggressive nature, his demeaning language, and his troubling indifference to his brother's crime. She was particularly disturbed by Kyle's continued visits to see Bradley in prison, despite knowing the horrific nature of his actions. On the day of the murders, Kyle Clifford sent text messages to his sister, assuring her that his crossbow was safely stored in his car. However, hours later, he drove to Bush Street and carried out the shocking murders of Louise, her sister Hannah, and their mother Carol. Court proceedings revealed that the attack spanned 4 agonizing hours, during which Kyle used both the crossbow and a knife to kill his victims. Investigators later uncovered that both the crossbow and the knife used in the attack had been purchased online. This raised concerns about the ease with which dangerous weapons could be acquired. Kyle Clifford's background painted a troubling picture. He was one of 4 children in a seemingly ordinary family from Enfield, North London. His parents, well regarded in their community, appeared unaware of the extent of their son's violent tendencies. However, Kyle's sister had questioned his behavior before the attack. Court records revealed that she had confronted him about carrying a crossbow, warning him that it was illegal. In hindsight, her concerns were alarmingly justified. Louise Hunt's breakup with Kyle was partially motivated by her unease over his family's history of violence. In her phone note, she listed Kyle's tendency toward road rage, his condescending attitude, and his unsettling amusement at his brother's violent behavior. Prosecutors highlighted how Kyle viewed himself as intellectually superior to Louise's family, adding to his manipulative nature. Bradley Clifford's murder of Soban Khan had been characterized by extreme aggression. In a fit of rage, Bradley struck Soban 9 times while he was defenseless on the ground. His trial at the Old Bailey shed light on his violent mentality. Messages he had sent to his girlfriend before the attack revealed his readiness to use extreme violence over the slightest provocation. The judge noted that Bradley viewed his Ford Mustang as a status symbol, something he was willing to attack over without hesitation. For his crime, Bradley was sentenced to life with a minimum of 23 years before he could be considered for parole. He also received an additional 7-year sentence for attacking Soban's friend, Joshua Francis, though this was set to run concurrently. Despite his conviction, Bradley has since attempted to appeal his sentence, seeking early release. Soban Khan and his family have vehemently opposed this, stressing that neither of the Clifford brothers should ever be allowed to walk free. The Clifford brothers' disturbing fascination with violence ultimately led to the destruction of multiple families. Kyle Clifford's brutal murder of the Hunt women left John Hunt and his surviving daughter, Amy, in unimaginable pain. His victim impact statement captured the depth of his grief, as he declared that the pain of losing his loved ones would stay with him for the rest of his life. Yet, he also expressed a determination to find strength in the memory of his wife and daughters. While Kyle Clifford will spend the rest of his life in prison, his brother Bradley remains incarcerated with the possibility of parole in the future. For the grieving families of their victims, justice is only partial, as no sentence can ever bring back their loved ones. Both John Hunt and Soban Khan continue to mourn the irreplaceable loss of their families, forever haunted by the horrific crimes committed by the Clifford brothers. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more updates on celebrity deaths and news updates.